Hello, welcome to part two of the Morphy development instructive games. So here, Morphy is playing black against Meek. The game started e4, and after e5, knight f3, knight c6, and we get d4. Pawn takes d4. This is the Scotch game, but now white opts for the Scotch gambit. This is a very dangerous opening if you don't know what you're doing, but really harmless if you know the theory, as you'll see here. So after bishop c4, uh, this is the most principled continuation. It makes it harder for white to recover the pawn. You can recover the pawn, but under unfavorable circumstances. But here definitely makes it a little bit harder. And here comes an interesting scenario. The move is essentially wrong because white starts attacking before completing development with knight to g5. Now, it's a very important moment because if you think about it, there's two ways that black could defend f7, which is what is being attacked by the bishop and the knight. You can play knight h6. This is the most accurate. Or you can play knight e5. Now, let's look at these two moves from the point of view of general principles. If black plays knight to e5, he's committing the same mistake that white committed, which is moving the same piece twice, trying to get involved into a middle game type fight without completing development. Here, white has a very nice move. He can take on f7, attacking the queen, the rook, and the knight on e5. So black doesn't have time to take the bishop. He has to take, and after bishop takes, check, king takes, we have queen to h5 check, attacking the king and attacking the bishop. And after g6, queen takes, we have this position which arises. Now, this is a very important position to understand because in this position, the d4 pawn, number one, is not protected. So you can't just play d6 and hope that this is good enough. Um, because he can take on d4. Now, this is very important position to understand so that you see the small differences between the two different continuations. Let's go back to the beginning again. So, the same position after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, pawn takes, knight takes. Oh, sorry, not knight takes, but bishop c4, and here bishop c5. And after knight g5, this time we go knight h6, which is the move that Paul Morphy played. This move develops a new minor piece and gets ready to castle. This is what makes it a very effective move. Now let's follow the same idea. After knight f7, knight takes f7, bishop takes f7, king f7, queen check. Now, after g6, queen takes c5, you realize that um, the d4 pawn is protected, and after d6, you're not gaining tempo with check because now bishop e6 can be played. And even if you play queen b5, which I think is the most accurate move, at this point, black is actually nicely developed, and after rook e8, he has the initiative. The queen will go to f6, and b7 will be protected, and the game will proceed. And it's just a question of time. Black is much better. It's got more pieces involved in the game. And this position is what you are kind of hoping for when you play a position like this. So there you go. This is our part two instructive development concepts from Morphy.